Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Anything that I use today you can purchase from Stampin' Up! Through me at my address at the top of the screen, and it is linked below, cathryntiemann.stampinup.net. Okay, my project today is, this is a very quick and easy little table favor for your Thanksgiving meal. It has 2 Ghirardelli chocolates inside. I guess I'll turn this off. You could also put a clip if you don't want to do that, but it'll fit 2 very nicely in there. Let me just save them out. It measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 by 3/4. Alrighty, and I used let's see, detail pumpkin dies for the pumpkin, Harvest Meadow DSP in the background, Giving Gifts dies for the leaves. The label, I used the Tasteful Label dies, and for the actual sentiment, I used Sparkle of the Season stamp set. I also used some Gold Shimmer Ribbon and some Gilded Gems. Alrighty, so let me show you what we need for this. It's not too hard. You can get at least 2 of these out of each piece of cardstock. Alright, so this is a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock that measures 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. We need 2 pieces of the Harvest Meadow Designer Series Paper that are 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. These are the 3 dies here that I've used. Okay, the pumpkin here is from Detailed Pumpkin Dies. This label right here is from the Tasteful Label dies, and this die, which I love, is from the Giving Gifts dies, and it has all these different leaves. So I made one out of Cajun Craze. I just did this 3 times in each of the colors. Mossy Meadow, Cajun Craze, and Daffodil Delight. Alrighty. And that's all we need. It would be really quick for you to do it for your table or to bring along, like I am, to someone's house for Thanksgiving. Alright, I'm going to get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 6 1/4 inch side of our Cajun Craze DSP, and we only need 4 score lines. That's it. So 2 3/4 and 3 1/2, and then turn it to the 4 1/4 side, and we score it at 3/4 and 3 1/2, and that's it. Alrighty. So now I'm just going to fold and burnish. Okay, and the cutting on this is very easy. All we're going to do is make the squares that are in the middle on both sides of the rectangles and just tab them. Cut the sides of the rectangle straight and wedge the sides of the squares, and you're done. Alright, so we'll go to the middle square. I cut off the score line so it doesn't leave a bump, so I keep that attached to the square, and then when I wedge each side of the square, the score lines disappear. So okay, now turn it 180, cut both sides of the rectangles straight, and then wedge both sides of the square. Alright, and that's what your cardstock should look like after you've scored it and cut it. Alright, then I'm going to get my tear and tape, and I'm just going to put a little piece on each one of the tabs. And I'm going to take off the backing. And it doesn't matter, you can go to either side with this. So we want to take the line at the top of the square here and make it straight with the sides of one of the rectangles on both of the sides. Alright, and then the rectangles that you left free, we're going to put tear and tape on close to the edge. Okay. backing off. All right, and now what we want is this line here to be straight with this back piece of the rectangle this time. Alrighty, make sure everything's nicely lined up. And then switch to the other side and make sure that it's nicely lined up. And there you go. That's the whole box. All right, now we're going to stick our 2 Ghirardelli chocolates in there. Okay, now we need our 2 pieces of 2.5 by 2.5 Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper, and I'm going to use liquid glue, and I'm going to put one on the front and one on the back. Okay, now we need to push with our pointers, okay, and squeeze with our thumb and our other fingers behind, and just bring the 2 sides together, just like that. Alrighty, then we're going to punch a hole, just, I'd say right after we clear the Designer Series paper. And this is an 1/8 of an inch, and about 3/4 in on each side. Okay, and then I'm going to get my Gold Shimmer Ribbon, really pretty. I love it. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, it's pretty. And I'm just going to put it through the front to the back and then the back to the front. Give yourself enough room. And then we're just going to tie a bow right here. Alrighty, and then just trim them off. Okie dokie. Now we're going to work with our die cuts. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this pumpkin. And I'm going to use the edges so that I can fit them. I think one will fit in the middle here. And then for the two edges, you're going to have to use the edges of your dimensionals. 1, 2. And we need a really skinny one. For some reason on this side is smaller. You could also glue this flush flat if you wanted to, if you don't want to worry about cutting any dimensionals. Put one on the stem. And I'm just going to center this right here. Press it down. Alright, and then I'm going to glue the leaves. So, I'm just going to glue the biggest one. I'm just going to put a little bit on the top. And glue that on that, right there on the left side. Everything comes to the middle though. The top of it wants to come to the middle. Uh-oh. There it is. And then the maple leaf one, I'm going to put right on top of that. Whoops. And then the Daffodil Delight one. And these are different. They go, the same leaf is a little different color because I just did 3 of each color. So they would be different on each one, but that's okay. unless you wanted to do 3 of each one. But I didn't want to do that. Oh, goodness, my hands are sticky now. All right. Now we'll let that dry a minute, and we're going to stamp. Again, this is from the Tasteful Label dies. It is this one that has the stitching on the outside and the inside. And I'm going to use Early Espresso Ink and Thankful for You. I hope everyone enjoyed all of I did about 2 months, I think, of Halloween projects. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope I didn't overdo it. All right, now I'm going to cut it about 1/4 inch from where the sentiment is. Let me just get this close so I don't have an accident. And then I'm just going to point the edge of each one. Take the side to the middle on each side. Alrighty. And then I'm just going to place it right in here under the bow. And you could use a glue dot, but I'm just going to put some liquid glue in. And just hold that there a minute. All right, and for the final touch, I'm going to use some of the Gilded Gems. And I'm going to put a large one in the middle, kind of over the stems of the leaves. Okay, and then 2 little ones. One on each of these leaves. Just stagger them so that none of them are the same height, and it looks good. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoy making these videos for you, and I thank everyone that watches them. I know a lot of you are demonstrators yourself or hobby demonstrators, so I appreciate the time you spend. I know you can't purchase because you're your own demonstrator, but those that are not, I would love it if you would purchase anything you needed from me. My address is up at the top of the screen. All of the instructions and the measurements are down below my link in my blog, and the link is below. My contact information is below, and I will have a little something special for the month of November for everybody that orders, and I will tell you that next week. Have a really great weekend, and I'll see you. Bye.